one of the most challenging things in leadership is the first step from peer to manager. As we are promoted into a leadership role, potentially of the role that we were just in, we end up becoming now a manager for people that we were just peers with. Now, there's a couple of emotional intelligence skills that become really critical in this pivot point. The first is emotional self-awareness, because as we step into leadership, a lot of emotions will be present here. And a lot of those emotions can be related to things like, am I going to be good enough at this job? Will people respect me? Will people think differently of me? And so on. So first, our emotional self-awareness is going to be critical so that we can manage those emotions well and make sure that we're really understanding the thought pattern that's driving then our decisions, the things that we do. But on the flip side of that is when we go from peer to manager, the relationships that we have with people do change, but they don't have to change as much as we think they need to change. And there are critical pieces that when you move from peer to manager need to happen, in my opinion. This topic comes up in almost every leadership development program that I run, especially through the foundation of emotional intelligence. Are the interpersonal relationships that you form, are they built on trust and compassion? They may have been in peer to peer. As soon as you move to manager, something shifts for that follower in how they see and relate to you. And we need to be aware of what that shift might be. Because oftentimes when we step into a management role, our direct reports will paint us with the same brush as other management experiences. And we need to be aware of, is that really happening? And so a few critical things to keep in mind that are tactical things to do is, number one, we have to strengthen those relationships and get to know now in this peer to manager relationship, what do you need, direct report, to be successful? Because it's now my responsibility to make sure those resources and opportunities are in front of you. But not just for success at work. What do you need for success at life? What is going on in the home environment, in your personal goals? What can I know about those things so that your life balance and your life success is in a state that is really meaningful and fulfilling to you? The second piece is, from peer to manager, we must never assume that the previous manager did a good job in explaining what expectations are, every line of a job profile, and the performance management criteria. If we fall back on the fact that we think that that was done well or it was done at all, then we can get ourselves into deep water trouble, and it actually makes a lot of things really difficult, like having accountability conversations. So one of the things you need to do out of the gate is open that employee's file and get used to what's in it, get comfortable with what's in it, and then start your file from ground one. We've got a resume in there, perhaps, but really we want to take a look at, this is your job profile. What does each line mean? In my eyes, what does it look like when it's done, when it's met a standard or an expectation? In your eyes, what does it look like? What skills and talents do you have to achieve these things? Where are your identified gaps? So what learning, training, and coaching do you believe you already need? And start working towards closing those gaps and assigning projects that allow them to soar in their strengths. And then the third piece is, as a new leader, you need to know what your management philosophy is. What is your philosophy around leading people and managing a team? When you can figure that out and communicate it to your people, and it will evolve as you spend years in leadership, your philosophy will evolve. It's important to communicate to the people that you lead what your philosophy really is and how you'll go about being their leader and being their manager. I hope these tips have been helpful.